Hey guys, so today I have some new coins to show you. Surprise, surprise, we have some sovereigns, so we'll take a look and see what they are. And I was watching a video recently on YouTube, it just popped up, as they do, and it was offering strangers $20 or $10 or a Canadian maple leaf, a 1 ounce gold coin. And I'm not sure, obviously I didn't see the video being made live in front, so there is obviously some editing perhaps in play. But basically the chap who had made the video was trying to offer people either $10, or I think he started off with 20, but he ended up with some tens. He was offering strangers on the street a $10 note, a $20 note, or a 1 ounce gold coin. And from the video, it shows from the point of view that people are essentially clueless as to the value of gold. Everyone who was on the video took the $10 or the $20. So it got me thinking, how far away are we from like a mass adoption of gold? How many people really understand it? And is there ever going to be sort of any chance of basically going to a gold standard again or anything like that? Now, my personal stacking reasons are just, somewhere to put a portion of the long-term savings that's not in the bank in fiat money, if you like. So obviously got the Zimbabwe note there, famously witnessed some hyperinflation there, where they ended up with even $1 trillion notes, some rather large banknotes, and yeah, it's worth more as a collectible than an actual currency, I guess. But yeah, we've had obviously many other countries and places unfortunately going through similar situations with their fiat money. Now these three sovereigns I got today, they were just best value sovereigns, and they are all Georges, and we've got a 1911, a 1912 and a 1913, and they all look very nice condition actually. Not that I'm especially surprised, but just nice coins. So happy to have those. I don't think there's any interesting mint marks there. So a Canada would be very nice if we had a C there, but I very doubt it, but you never know. And yeah, they're all George and the first George portrait. So it got me thinking, how far away are we from like any kind of mass adoption of gold? I can't really see a day where we're going to be taking gold to trade and barter with. I just feel like if there's some sort of crisis, like if the banks shut down or whatever could happen, I just don't feel like you're going to be walking into Tesco, trying to buy your sort of dried food and things with gold coins and trying to educate the checkout staff or even the self-service checkouts that there is. I just don't see how it would ever come back. I don't think that bringing back a gold standard would be beneficial enough to the people who would have to sort of vote it in, if you like. So I think for a lot of people, especially people who are holding gold, it would be a nice scenario to have a gold backed currency. And I think an honest money system where it's perhaps not in the power of a few would be a nice thing to have. But I find it unlikely that anything will change that drastically. So maybe I'm wrong. I'm just purely my opinion. We've seen stranger things happen though. So I'm curious what you think. Do you think if you were to go round to your average person on the street and offer them a 1 ounce gold coin versus $10, $20, $100, what do you think they would take? Do you think anyone would actually go for the gold coin, or do you think everyone would just go for the cash? Obviously, we as people who buy gold and understand gold, it would just be a no-brainer. You'd take the gold. And to be honest, if a stranger approached me and said, here is the chance to have this mystery coin that I've never heard of versus 10, 20 pounds, dollars, I would probably take the coin anyway, for the sake of 10 or $20. Like it's not a life-changing amount of money. You might get your lunch or something, but it's not going to make, you know, such a big difference. Whereas there is that gamble of maybe the coin is actually worth something, and maybe he wouldn't have given the coin away if they had said the coin. You know, I don't know. I didn't watch the video. You know, maybe it was all staged. Who knows? But the purpose of the video, the point of the video, I thought was very interesting. So I'm curious to know, you know, what you think and whereabouts you are. You know, do you think if you went round to people on the street, do you think they would have any idea what the current spot price of gold is? I guess, you know, people are exposed to gold a little bit in things like jewellery, and, you know, people know that gold is valuable, but I don't think people realise how much. Like, if you approach somebody, you know, this tiny little gold coin here, and we have 50p, this is like in, well, I don't know if you've seen many of these in circulation, but this is our currency, you know, 50 pence. If you're in the UK, you would maybe buy, let's see, with 50 pence, you wouldn't buy a sandwich. You would maybe buy, you know, a small bottle of water at best. Not in a cafe. You probably wouldn't buy anything in a cafe with 50 pence. But just for sort of size comparison, you know, people would recognise a 50 pence in the UK and know it's worth 50 pence. But they'd see this sovereign and think, tiny little thing. Especially if it was one of the more modern ones, you know, they'd probably think, oh yeah, that looks like a copper penny. And at least the older sovereigns do look a bit like gold. So yeah, who knows? But obviously the gold, you know, if people who were in Zimbabwe at the time of this lot, if they were stacking cash at the time, you know, and that was their main goal, you know, it's good to have some cash on the side for emergencies, obviously, and maybe not in hyperinflation, but in terms of, you know, your normal everyday life, it is obviously essential to have some to pay the bills. Maybe not physical cash, but, you know, your fiat currency. And when you actually look at, you know, times of hyperinflation, if you have gold instead of your currency in your savings, this stuff will retain its value. You know, you can take it to somewhere, maybe across the border, somewhere else, you know, a different country where there isn't such a crisis, and you can exchange it for, you know, something of value, goods, services, etc. You know, accommodation, lodging, things like that. And, you know, you have something that has retained its value. So yeah, interesting video, and I'm curious to know if you've seen it and what you thought. You know, maybe it was staged, maybe it wasn't, but the message of the video, I think, is what's important. And yeah, it does highlight how far away most people are from realising, you know, what's going on to the currency. I feel like if you speak to people who are not maybe stackers, they'll acknowledge that prices of things are going up and just shrug it off and keep paying them, I guess. So, as unfortunate as it is, what do you think? Have you heard anything similar? You know, have you tried to perhaps teach someone, educate someone that you know, and had any success? Let me know in the comments.